We are back. Okay, so now we're gonna be open for questions. So I recommend everybody to do have the exclamation right there, right? So it'll be better, I think. Because if another people get in, we miss the questions, right?
Yes.
So the best way to do for everyone is to touch in there, and make your questions, because we're going to continue maybe for 20 minutes. It depends how many questions we're going to have. So, okay, I got a first question here.
Okay, I'm going to answer one here. What kind of peels do I do in my office?
Okay.
I do a lactic peel. I am a huge believer in AHAs. And lactic is obviously the second smallest molecule. You've got glycolic, lactic, malic, tartaric, and citrus. I love lactic. I love lactic acid. I love it for a more sensitive skin. I find that my peel does have a little bit of resorcinol in it. It is it's called the peeling formula in the Rejuve line. That's the only one I do. I'm very particular about what I put on the skin because I really need to make sure I don't want to go too strong. I like having control. I like being able to put as many layers on as I feel needed until the skin starts to become blanched. But I like to have control. I want to be able to put as many applications on as I want. It is the Rejuve peeling formula. What about you, Carol? What are your peels that you do?
The peels that I do, I use peels, depends of the type of the skin. I use it depends of the skin condition, right? So I analyze the skin and I can do the glycolic peel, that I can do salicylic peel, lactilic peel, but all for the level and percentage that estheticians are able to do.
Right.
Because before I have a chance to work with a VI peel, but I was working medical spa and the doctor signed that for me. I just apply it. So, but now I'm really careful about peelings too, because the people coming to me, they have some really big concerns about their skin, more sensitive. So people ask if we use peels for eczema. I don't, because I think they can burn the skin, you know, this really dangerous. So that question we answer. So I try to open the questions. Okay, so there you go, you can read in there.
Do you recommend a client build a tolerance with home products prior to peels? Yes. I believe that, you know, before I do peels on people, I believe it's very important to prepare the skin. And so preparing it, I'm usually going to have them use an alpha hydroxy acid at home and maybe a mild retinol as well, which again is always not prescription strength. But I do believe that it's important to prep the skin, as post is also really important, because you're just going to get a better peel if you do that.
Okay. Another question. What's the best
type of peel to address pitting and previous acne? You know, pitting, because it does affect so many layers within the skin, it's really important to be what you do every single day. So in other words, AHAs are really important, and that being your glycolic, lactic, malic, tartaric, and citrus, as well as retinols. I mean, the combination, maybe, you know, with pitting, I've usually got someone doing an AHA in the morning and using a mild, like a retinol at nighttime, because it doesn't happen overnight with pitting. You really have to, you've got to feed the skin a lot of nutrients, as well as buffering it back and working in that way.
Okay, we have the next thing here.
The only exfoliant my face obsesses month, how many times do you recommend? I only exfoliate my face. You know, every skin is different. Like if you're a more oily skin, sometimes I'm telling people to use an exfoliant, 3 or 4 times a week. But again, the exfoliants are really important, the type of exfoliant. If you are a skin that is a drier skin, and most skins, especially here in LA, are surface dry, they're oily, possibly underneath, but dry on top, I don't usually recommend granules. I recommend one that has more of a buffing effect on the epidermis, so it absorbs dead cells. And if you're using that type of exfoliant, 3 or 4 times a week is great. But if you are a drier skin, you might only be exfoliating, you know, once every 2 weeks. And to be honest with you, because I use retinols and AHAs, I don't ever use an exfoliant on my skin. I don't need to. But generally that's it. Okay, I'm starting to get a craggy neck. Help. Oh my gosh, I totally understand how you feel about the neck situation.
Do some massage
Yeah,
also, you know.
It is massaging, and it's, you know, the neck is a very sensitive skin. It's a very different skin to the face. You can peel and lift and, you know, do all things to your face, but the neck is so delicate and so sensitive. So, you know, a little bit of AHA here and there, a little bit of retinol is great, but ultimately it's just massaging and getting movement is what's really important. Yeah. Do you recommend using AHAs with retinols? I use AHAs and retinols, but I'm usually going to use my AHAs in the morning and my retinols at night. I don't usually, unless I'm in treatment, you know, I might do an AHA and I might work with a retinol there. But the AHAs I'm taking off in treatment. But for home care, AHAs in the morning and retinols at night. And maybe they're not using a retinol every night. Maybe they're using it only, you know, 2 or 3 times a week. The other nights, they can use the AHAs as well. Yes.
Okay, just to make clear to everybody, the best way to do is to touch the question mark and make your question right there, okay, girls? Because it gets difficult to read all. Okay.
Do you do microneedling? No, I don't. And I know, Carol, you had mentioned this earlier.
Because other people were asking too.
Yeah. I have to tell you, I am, I'm kind of, and I'm going to say I'm maybe old-fashioned, but I'm old-fashioned because I've worked with, you know, I've done over 100,000 facials, and I've seen a lot I've worked with doctors. You know, obviously I'm one of their brain trust people on New Beauty, the new Beauty that's out, just came out yesterday. You know, microneedling does cause microscarring. And for some people, it's great. And if you have a great technician, it's fine. If you have scarring and pitting, it can help and work. But the majority of people, there's infections, it makes melasma worse, and I'm seeing that. You know, people say we do it to stimulate collagen, and I'm like, well, why pierce the skin to stimulate collagen when all you have to do is go use a retinol or an AHA, because that does the same thing without causing microscarring. So I'm concerned about melasma. I'm concerned about making the skin blotchy. I'm concerned about those things. And maybe you're not seeing a lot of it right now, but the more and more people do microneedling, the more and more melasma that's going to be out there. Does microneedling help serums to get into the skin faster? Possibly. That would make sense, right? But retinols and AHAs get in anyway. So I just I don't do it. I have no intentions of doing it. I'm a big believer in home care, doing home care, AM and PM. I'm a huge believer in retinols and AHAs, and I am, because that's how I get results. That's what I can tell you.
Yes, I also want to complete that. So the 2 classes that I have in France and Germany, they also work the way you do, you know. This is a European style. And they don't recommend to use that much machines. Some companies in Europe, they created their own machines without the needles. I don't know if you hear about. It's really tiny, and they not get, you know, penetrating the skin. It's just actually almost like a microdermabrasion. So the next question for you is there.
How do you feel about microdermabrasion? Well, you know, everything has a purpose. Okay, we have all of these machines, and I've used them all. Okay, I'm not speaking from not using them. I have used them all. And in fact, in Australia, in my 2 places I had in Australia, I could use equipment that I couldn't even use here because of the laws. But yes, I will tell you, microdermabrasion, again, it has a purpose. And if you have pitting and scarring, it's a sanding, you know. And they say, well, you know, microdermabrasion stimulates collagen, but so does retinols and AHAs. You know, as all you're doing is sanding. It's very important. I am not a fan of suction devices. I know that suction damages blood vessels, and I know that it stretches the skin. So anything that has a suction device, I am not a fan. If you are doing microdermabrasion or you're doing hydrofacials, you have to hold the skin really tight when you're doing it. You don't want to, you don't want too much of a suction. And that's why even people that do a lot of lip waxing, it stretches the skin. It gives you more lines around your mouth. So it's really important to just hold the skin tight. Don't be too aggressive. It's everything in moderation. What can I use to reduce my melasma? Okay, well, we kind of talked about this. It's this, use ingredients that support the tyrosinase, the melanosides, use, the inhibitors, use your alpha-butans, use your licorice extract, your kojic acid, your mulberry extract. Don't have hot showers, like heat affects it. Don't have a lot of steam. Don't, if you're under lighting, wear sunblock all the time, even when you're inside the house.
Yes.
You've got to keep your body cool, and ultimately go to an endocrinologist. You're possibly producing a little bit more the estrogen. Your levels could be off a little bit. Go see an endocrinologist. See where you are on your scale, and see if there's something internally that you can do as well. What sunscreen do you recommend for darker skin tones? I know it's really hard with darker skin tones because so much makes the skin look gray, okay? These sunscreens, especially physical sunscreens, which is so great. In La Belladonna is a mineral makeup. Some of the mineral makeups, they have a variety of colors that you can use on the skin. I know there are certain brands out there that do have good sunscreens, but ultimately it's it's tricky and getting a good sunscreen. A lot of the lighter ones, I'd have to look into. Most of what I recommend for people are minerals, so I'm going to go either Color Science route, or I'm going to go La Belladonna route, or Jane Iredale, and they tend to have, even if it's an SPF 25. I mean, La Belladonna, I know, has a bunch of different colors. They're retractable brushes. They've got an SPF in them, and they're great. I tend to go more that route for my clients. What are your thoughts on facial cleansing brushes? Should those be used daily? The Clarisonic, the Fioro, these brushes and devices for cleaning, I don't think they're bad, and I think, again, they have a purpose, but I just would not recommend people use them every single day, because the more friction, the more that you have going on the face, you start to thicken the epidermis. It's like when you have no shoes on your feet, you walk on sand. What happens to the bottoms of your feet? They start to thicken. You don't want to make the outside of your skin thick. You want to keep it soft and supple. So if it's hard to keep the brushes clean as well. I prefer a clean, warm washcloth. That's what I do every night in my cleanse. But if you want to use it once or twice a week, make sure you're cleaning your brush as well. Just don't use the one for sensitive skin. That's what I would recommend. Nerida, what do you use?
I use, sorry, I use the one they call Ferro. Oh, yes. And I like that one because I can wash it. I also do in my shower, and I already wash it, and make sure that I leave it clean. Okay, the next question.
I just feel when it comes to cleansing, people, they're too quick with their cleanse. They want to get on their serum and their treatment cream. And I cannot say this enough. And in fact, I'm going to be talking about it on Friday in another live with Jordan Samuel. It's very, very important cleansing. The more you cleanse your skin, the movement, you get movement there. You've got to get under that fine facial hair. Don't be lazy, guys. And I think some of the devices, they, for a lot of people, they kind of go that route more, and it makes them a little lazy. So I don't want people to be lazy with their cleansing. I want them to really put time into that 30 to 60 second rule, right? You know, really put time into cleansing. What do you think of the nano pens, and have you used no better version of microneedling? You know, I mean, I'm just no, I haven't used them, so I can't speak from a personal experience. I have not done microneedling either. I just know from a science and how the skin works, and I think that I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Okay, guys, I want you to understand everything I'm telling you is from my 42 years of hands-on. Okay, it's from my own experience. So I think that try it. You know, if you want to try it. I'm a big believer in massage, and if everything I put on my face, I don't want to be, I want to clean it well. I want to exfoliate, you know, the skin. A lot of people, because they have surface dryness, I want to use good products, and I want to do it on a regular basis and just massage. I mean, you know, that's about all I've got time for, and that I think is the most effective. Do you feel about how do you feel about radio frequency and microcurrent? I think it works. I think microcurrent, and it definitely works. You just have to keep it up. You know, any movement that you're getting there to stimulate muscle tone is great. I mean, whether it be whatever, you know, little device that you're using, but microcurrent definitely works. You've just got to keep it up. It is something that you have to continuously do. What kind of a good and natural, what kind of a good and natural opinion instead of Botox? Okay. Massage, you know, massaging the skin.
Yes, that's what I say. Yeah.
You know, Rejuvi has the biorejuvenating. It has some special ingredients in there that help to relax, and that's, you know, the biorejuvenating one. And there are creams that do help relax, but ultimately I just feel massage is the best ever for everything, pretty much. Cheap products do you recommend for a student on a budget? You know, I mean, Jordan Samuels, he has a really great line. It's pretty, it's not an extensive line. I know him personally. I know he's put a lot of time and effort into developing his line. I think his line is very reasonable. You know, as an over-the-counter CeraVe, I mean, a cleanser, you know, and a lot of people recommend, you know, doctors recommend Cetaphil and things, but, you know, the film that it leaves, I'm just not a huge fan. I would say if you can get, you know, something that's really reasonable, I would say Jordan Samuel. He's got a variety of things, cleansers, which I think is really important. So go for Jordan Samuel. How do you feel about hydroquinone, and do you use it? No, I don't use it. I would prefer the arbutin, the alpha-arbutin, which is a derivative of the hydroquinone. Hydroquinone, understand that hydroquinone is banned in many countries, and it's banned because it is cancer causing, okay? So we still have it here in the US. Hydroquinone is something that works. It does work on that cycle, the 9-cycle terracinase cycle within a melanocyte. It does work, but you can only use it for 8 weeks, and then you have to stop it for a month. If you continue using it, you're going to upset that cycle, and it will be upset forevermore. And that's a problem. A lot of people, when they start using hydroquinone, they notice a difference. Their skin is lighter. They're lightening their brown spots. They're lightening their melasma. But then it gets a little better, but then they keep using it because maybe they weren't told by the person that prescribed it to them they have to stop using it. Then it gets upset and it comes back. And if you take a trip to Hawaii, to Cabo, that sun is going to bring it out like crazy. So I would prefer to go with something I can use on a daily basis, and I'm going to go with my arbutins, my licorice extract, my kojic acid, my arnica, my flavonoids, my vitamin C. That's what I'm going to use over hydroquinone. So I do not, obviously, you know, I don't recommend it, and there are brands that just have a lot of hydroquinone in it, but it is banned in many countries. Do you think that hormone replacement therapy can prevent or reduce melasma? You know, hormone replacement therapy is, you know, it's melasma is all, you know, about hormones, right? And it's affected the sun, certain things bring it out. I think that your endocrinologist, the person who specializes in hormones, is definitely someone to see. I think you can make it better. Sometimes if someone goes on a contraceptive pill and all of a sudden they've got the brown line around the mouth and they're getting areas on the face, there are other contraceptive pills. So I think it's a discussion that you need to have with your gynecologist, OGBYN, and, you know, anyone who's working with you on your hormones. I think that it's definitely, don't settle. You know, if you have melasma on your face from a hormone that you're taking, natural or not, synthetic, although I think everything's probably pretty synthetic, but it's just, you know, it's a discussion that you need to have with your doctor, basically. Do you recommend for broken capillaries on the nose? The only thing that you can do for capillaries really is have them zapped. You've got to go to the dermatologist. It's a form of, it's heat that, you know, they use. It coagulates a little blood vessel and then it just dies up and disappears. But it's a form of coagulation that they zap it. And that's the only way to get rid of them. You can support them for your future by using things like your bioflavonoids, the things that support your capillary wall, that stop leakage from the capillary wall. And those are, you know, the one I talk about all the time in my videos is a Rejuvi Q flavonoid. It's a fantastic bioflavonoid to help support capillaries. But anything that's got your mulberry extract, your arnica, you know, the vitamin C, these things really help support blood vessels, and that's great. Do you recommend a foaming cleanser for an oily skin? Okay, I am so glad somebody said this because I am a huge talker on cleansing.
I remember that.
Okay, now I need for you all to understand something. Foaming cleansers are only okay if, number one, you live in a humid climate, and number two, you are not surface dry. 99% of my clients that come to me with acne, with oily skin, and I have a lot of acnetic clients. I'm kind of known for that area, especially, as you'll see in my videos. 99% of them come to me, they're surface dry. They're so dry, you can't even get the blackhead out. The blackhead is dry when it comes out. It's so hard. So you cannot use a foaming cleanser if you are surface dry. You just can't do it. And most cleansers out there on the market are foaming. Oh my God, I just can't believe it. You have to keep your skin soft and supple, guys. So if you live in a humid climate and you have no surface drying, absolutely use a foaming cleanser. But 99% of the people that come in to see me that are oily, with an oily skin, are surface dry, and no, they cannot use a foaming cleanser. Any good books you can both recommend? I've been a therapist for 30 years and always learning. Okay. You know,
the next book, Nerida Joy. I want to get her there, girls. Help me.
The trade magazines, guys. Le Nouvel Esthétique, which Carol just showed you. You know, she's had from her own country, Brazil.
Brazil.
Le Nouvel Esthétique is a great resource for you guys. New Beauty magazine, they've just come out with their brand new New Beauty. I've got a lot of my great fellow people that I love also on the board, so to speak, with me of New Beauty. Incredible people on there. They also, that magazine is packed with information. You esties out there, New Beauty, Le Nouvel Esthétique, absolutely. You know, watch videos.
Yes, that's what I do. I always trying to also going to the, you know, to the Congress, because I hear some esthetician, they say, oh, I'm not going because it's always the same. Not for me.
No,
I always go and learn.
Speakers, it's always growing. You know, Joanna Vargas just came out with a book, guys. Caroline Herones has a book coming out. She's in the UK. She's an amazing esthetician, an amazing person. These are great books from esties out there that you know you can't stop learning. So, you know, they're fantastic too. You know,
Yes, girls, I'm sorry, we have to get done. Poor Nerida has been sitting there and answer. Thank you so much, everyone. Nerida, I don't have words to describe how happy I am today to having you in my life too, because it's a wonderful to hear you, and you know, and hear your knowledge and tips and and advice for us as esthetician. We always learn from you. Thank you so much. And I want to ask you a message that you can send to us right now in the situation that we are. If comes something to your heart to telling us what's come from you.
You know, I'm going to say something that my father said to me a long time ago, and it is a couple of things. One, I will say first, before I say that, I will say, ask yourself to describe who you are. Like, ask yourself, who am I? Okay. Like, who are you here, guys? And I think write that down. Write down 5 things describing yourself. And I know when I was asked this, it really made me think, took me out of here, put me here, made me think about, you know, what's important to me. I want you guys to find what's important to you. For me, you know, it was, I want to make people feel good. I know I'm an emotional person. You know, yes, I want to share a lot of, you know, what I'm doing, my information. So there's that. And then the other thing that my father said to me is, he said, you know what it is that you want to do in life? He said, just go out there and be the best you can. So
that's beautiful.
To just look at who you are and what's important to you, because it's such a personal thing. And then go out there and be the best you can. You know, it's like we're doing this, Carol and I here, hoping, you know, we're getting to people and helping people. But it's, you can't control that. You can control this. Just go out there and be the best you can. And whatever that is. So that's what
okay.
Carol.
Yes, Nerida, I created this when the COVID-19 flared out. I was thinking to myself, what am I gonna do now to help people? What am I gonna do now? I was getting myself this deep question that make me emotional now.
Yeah.
Because I know people need help.
Oh gosh.
And we are here for help.
Yeah. No, I know.
Here for help.
Yeah.
We seriously, when I send it to the message, I didn't expect you answer me. I tell my close friends, when you answer me, I say, oh my God, now she's answered. What am I gonna do? Because I'm a huge fan of you. I'm a huge fan of Nerida Joy, because she's not just, she's is higher than just a esthetician. I can see her divine light. You show us as the way you are, and this is really very inspiring me as a professional to be always authentic. So my message for you ladies right now, if you are in a beauty industry or not, just be authentic. Just be you.
Be true
just
to who you are. Yes.
Be true to you.
Yes.
And now in these days, trying to do what you're doing now, you know, going to get more knowledge, going to study, going to learn, open your heart to learn more as you can now. It's so many good, you know, opportunities. I've been here, doctors, I've been here, specialists in wellness. I've been pushing myself to learn more, because when this got done, I want to be a better person to share with others.
Yes, absolutely.
Not just for me, just to share. That's the way. Who knows me know that I like to be serving, you know, others. And that's the prayer that I did this morning, as we are in this week, you know, the Holy Week. And then I'm very religious. And I think whatever beliefs you have, just hold that.
Yes.
Hold your beliefs, and hold your religion and your faith, you know. And
because it's such a personal thing, isn't it? And it's what gives you strength, and that strength gives you courage, and that strength is what it gets you moving. It gets you moving in the direction of doing and helping and just, you know, living in the moment of just living whole, you know.
Yes.
Being whole.
So, yeah, so I created this home spa project, and then I wish I can make this a magazine, you know. I've been working for, because I believe any bad situation can bring to you another way to live, you know. Difficulties brings opportunities. That's what I
Yes.
try to say.
Yes.
And then it's just some people get stuck. I've been here, some friends, they are professionals, they get stuck, and I tell them, move it, move it. You have to move. You have to find, you have to do meditation. We have to do whatever they bring you back.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Because they are lost.
Getting it back to yourself. Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people,
maybe that's reading a book. Maybe it's
yeah.
Listening to a video. I mean, because everybody's so different. I mean, sometimes it takes you know, listening to somebody else and just playing it over and over again, and the power of your attitude.
This is a good book for now, because
So
it
great.
shows you a choice that you have to do for happy and successful life. It's your choice.
That's so wonderful.
Yes,
That's right.
and we have to do now. We have enough time. You just, like, some people, they have kids. I believe it. That's hard when all kids at home. But if you're planning your day the night before, step by step, I know what I'm gonna do as soon as I open my eyes. My meditation, my prayers. After that, you know, my hygienic part and my coffee. I have step by step, because that way my day will be full, you know. This is the part of wellness that I talk to you guys, you know, is to give it to you like a chance to change your life, because now you have to find time for that.
Yes.
You know, and I agree with you, Nerida, when you told that we cannot control what's outside. What's outside is going to be the way it is.
That's
but
right.
Inside, it's your choice.
Yes.
Inside, you have to shift. If you wake up and don't feeling good, put a music, put something that shift.
Get you out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, because our brain, our brain tricking us.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the big trick. Like, sometimes you don't feel good. If you feeding that, will be going big and big, and then you get in this,
verbalizing it. It's negative. That's right.
So I watch another life that you have with your friend. I just forgot her name now.
Jessie.
Yes. Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful what she said. She's amazing too. She helping people to you know, to bring it out our best.
It's so wonderful. And that video is actually on my Instagram still, so people can watch it. It's there to stay. So it's the live is on my Instagram for people to watch. Now, Jessie is a very special person, and I love her because she's about empowering other people. She's not about, you know, she's not about taking that away from them. She's about giving empowerment to people so that they really can be, you know, be true to who they are and build on that. And it's so wonderful because I've seen the results of her work in my own family, and just, you know, being around her, it's special. And I'm all about empowering people, you know. So anybody, you too, you do the same thing. You're about empowering people.
Yes, I want to do that.
And it's really needed. It's
really
needed.
We have to find it. We have to find our purpose.
Yes.
You know, sometimes people don't know what to do because they don't find their purpose. And then you have to ask yourself, you have to ask God, you have to ask your believers, you know, and just say, what I can do for my purpose in life.
Yes.
What's your intention when you open your eyes each day, you know? Make intention for that day.
And sometimes that takes courage. But it's, you know, it's okay to have fear. to feel things that it's if you recognize it, it's okay to feel like that, because we all feel like this at some times. But if you recognize it and say, but you know what, that's not going to stop me, because you know, it is when you have purpose, it's like you strive, you will never be let down. You know, it's the thing that the more you get out of here, the more you just get up and you do every single day, it will change, and your head will start to change. And then when your head starts to change, you're like, wow, okay, you know,
I can do it. Yeah.
It just happens. Yeah.
Okay, my dear, thank you so much. You know,
Bye, everyone.
God,
Thank you for joining. Thank you, Carol, so much.
thank you so
It's so
much.
great to see you
Appreciate.
again. And
God bless your life.
it's so great that to do this today. So thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.